Hi, baseball fans. My name is Dave from the Frontier League Journal, and today this is another game talk. And this is a weird one because something happened on Saturday or Sunday morning. I was typing my usual 3 hours report on the games from last night, from the night prior, and I texted you, I think, or you texted me, or you liked one of my posts.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing my coffee. I went to my computer and all the teams were jumbled up. And obviously, Connor Reed is the Joliet Slammers pitching coach. Is that it?
No, I was reading the message and I'm like, it said something about, I think it's Niquela and Sullivan.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I think that's Joliet's new manager's last name. I was like, I'm checking box scores, trying to find a Sullivan. I'm just like trying to put the puzzle together here. I'm like, hey, man, I think you might have the wrong guy here. I was like, I am in the Frontier League. It's just not Joliet. But
I was so ashamed.
There's so many new names and faces out there.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, that's my job to know those things. So please repeat after me, Connor. Dave, you're a stupid moron.
Stupid moron.
Connor Reed, how are you, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Just ready for a fresh week after our first real off day of the year.
Yeah, that must have felt good. I mean, with all the delayed games and the postponement, I think you had one, maybe?
We had one. It was the second day of the season, so not really when we needed it, but, I guess better early than never to switch it up.
So you're obviously the Schaumburg Boomers pitching coach. This is your first year. You've been in the Frontier League pretty much all your pro career. How is it to go from being a pitcher and just having this intensity to being a pitching coach and being on the other side?
Obviously a bit of an adjustment early on, just because you're so used to having that competitive outlet and having ways that you can get yourself involved in helping the team. Obviously still helping the team, just very differently now in terms of scouting report and figuring out how to get hitters out, how to attack certain lineups and certain guys. And these are our guys not to beat us. These are our guys we're comfortable. If these guys beat us, then, tip your cap and move on. But a fun adjustment. It was, I felt like it was my time. Jamie offered me the job and I felt like it was the perfect time to get into the coaching world.
Why do you think he did offer you that job? Did you have kind of an analytical mind before and he saw that in you?
Definitely. So our previous pitching coach, Tony Smith, him and I spent probably, I think it was 2 straight years together at our facility here in the Chicago area. And Tony, Jamie, and I had always discussed, I felt like that was my next step. And always being around. And then Tony ended up taking a job with the Detroit Tigers, and that kind of left the job open. And 2020, Jamie called me and asked me if I wanted it. And I was like, I think I want to pitch one more year because I was coming off Tommy John surgery. I had it in 17, missed all of 18 and pitched 19. I wanted one more year. And then we all know what 2020 looked like. And it was, okay, I'm getting a little older. Jobs are getting a little thinner in baseball as teams are starting to disappear and all this stuff. And Jamie called me again. He's like, all right, 2021. I was like, yeah, I'm in. I'm done pitching. I'm ready to start the coaching career.
And this is a very small sample so far this season. But one thing I've seen is, that's okay. One thing I've seen is I think the way pitchers pitching on your team right now reflects how you pitched before. So you pretty much pitch, they pitch to contact. And I think you're second in the league in based on balls per 9. Is that a philosophy of yours, or is that just, I don't know?
Very much a philosophy of mine and Jamie. So if you look at the way our team is put together, most of our highly experienced guys are in the lineup, and the staff is put together of some experienced guys and some younger guys who we just knew were going to come in and compete their nuts off and throw strikes and get after guys. You look at Jamie's stats from when he pitched, it was the same kind of guy. He would come in, he'd throw strikes, he'd make you beat him yourself. He would never beat himself. Mm-hmm. I was the same way. I didn't have anything overpowering. I always thought, I could kind of bulldog my way through situations, throw strikes, make guys get themselves out. And, I think that if you can just limit free bases, you're going to have a lot of success. And that's kind of what I preach to our guys, and I guess if you want to call it the staff philosophy, that is what we're shooting for. Limit the free passes, make guys beat us.
And it seems so easy too. And I had an interview with Chase Cunningham from the Miners, and I don't know, I heard that too many times before, but the way he said it, let the guys in front of you beat you. I mean, hitting a ball at 95 miles an hour is very difficult. So why do you always play on the edges and try to be too fine? Let them beat you, and then it's pretty much all going to go by itself.
Yeah, and it's tough to fight that battle of, okay, I'm just gonna, it's a round ball, it's a round bat, and you want to hit it square, the oldest. But it's tough to fight the battle of, okay, I'll throw everything down the middle, and hitting's really hard. And while I have good control and I feel like I can nibble at the corners here, it's kind of a checks and balances, count, sure, throw to a half of the plate, don't attack the middle or the outer black, just get ahead. The first, most important pitch, strike one. Mm-hmm. A big thing we go for is like winning the best 2 out of 3, the first 3 pitches. If you can get to 1-2 in the first 3 pitches, you're going to win a lot of the time. So that's like our goal. And then from there, it's just, if you get to 1-2 and they work you back to full, just challenge. Mm-hmm. You go 2-0-3-1 even, challenge. Make them put the ball over the fence to score runs. Don't give them a free one and then you throw a curveball in the dirt to the next guy and he gets to move up. And then we're just a little blooper over the first baseman from a run being scored. So just making the guy in front of you beat you.
And this is an interesting approach with Jake Joyce. I mean, let's be honest. All his career, he's allowed a lot of walks.
He has.
How challenging is it for you to talk to him and make him understand that? Because he's got amazing stuff. Let's face it, he's successful with his recipe. Mm-hmm. But this is a stressful recipe. My God.
It is. It's high stress. So I actually work with Jake at our facility here. Mm-hmm. So I've been around Jake and all of his prep and everything for 2 years now, because he moved here right before the 20 season would have happened. But he goes a little bit against our philosophy, but he's shown with his track record it works. He can pitch around those walks and just kind of outcompete guys from scoring. Dealing with a couple hiccups right now mechanically, but we're going to work through it, and we have all the confidence in the world in Jake moving forward.
Okay. You being a pitcher, you've had Tommy John. I had no idea that was Tommy John. I thought it was maybe less severe. This is severe, obviously.
It was the one.
How do you think you can relate to pitchers and just share your experience with them? So do you want that to happen to you? No? Well, listen to me, asshole.
Yeah. So mine was kind of, my surgeon described it as mileage. Basically, he said it was kind of inevitable with the way, I threw and how my arm was put together and all the miles I put on it when I was younger, yada, yada. So I work really closely with our trainer and our pitchers. So we both preach arm care, pre and post outing. And I'm just like, guys, this is a very, very cutthroat business. And I was blessed to be able to have surgery, get myself back into shape kind of by myself, and then have the opportunity to pitch again. Usually, in indie ball, you have an injury like that where you're missing a year. That's your career. It's over. There's not a lot of more opportunity out there for guys to keep going and push through an injury and come back. It's not like the big leagues where, you have the full support of a staff behind you. So, and I threw through a ton of pain, and I kept stuff from our trainer, and I thought I was tougher than my arm, and I can be the voice of reason for some of our guys, because it's very obvious when a pitcher's hurting, and it's just like, don't try to be too tough here, especially right now. I think we're 9 games in. It's like, it's okay. It's your arm's going to hurt. Or no, we're 11 games in. It's your arm's going to hurt. It's pitching. You're not supposed to do this. But it's just, if you're smart and proactive and get your work in and don't dodge, conditioning or arm care, all this stuff, you'll probably be all right. But, those freak things happen, and we can't protect against those, but protect against what you can protect against.
speaking of freaky things, Quincy Nieporte was in French we say Nieporte. Well, how do you say that in English?
Nieporte. Nieporte.
Nieporte? Oh my
Yeah.
God. Okay. So Quincy Nieporte, he was just named the player of the week. And I talked to him maybe 2 weeks ago, and he pitched a game. Well, not even 2 weeks ago. He pitched a game, and he mentioned that he's always very loud when at the end of the games, I mean, large scoring game, I want to pitch, and I'm better than everybody. So he wants that ball. What is it with him, and what kind of stuff does he have?
So he threw a game for us in 19 as well. He kind of the same thing, like a mop-up inning, just in a game that, for lack of a better term, got away from us.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, Jamie and I looked at each other, I think it was like the 7th inning, and we're just like, we're going to have to pinch Quincy on opening night, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he throws strikes, which is the hardest part for guys who never pitch. He goes fastball splitter. So he threw a splitter, he got a strikeout. And ever since that night, I mean, every day he's asking me, when's my next bullpen? When's my next bullpen? He's texting me about pitching. I'm like, dude, you won the batting title in 2019 and you haven't even struck out once this year. And he had his first one Sunday. And it's just like, dude, don't worry about the pitching. Like, you don't even work on it, and you throw a 0 every time we throw you out there.
Mm-hmm. But it's kind of just an arm, one more arm for your bullpen in a way. I mean, why would you not consider him? I mean, is the velocity not there? Is there something that's wrong? You don't want to injure him?
It's not. I think he could throw hard if he wanted to, but it's more he just goes out there and plays catch with the catcher.
Okay.
I don't want him devoting a ton of time to it. It's okay. He can get outs for an inning when we need him. I don't want to call on him all the time and have him mess his legs up trying to cover first or something stupid happening where we can't have him in the middle of the lineup where we really need him. But I mean, hopefully he doesn't get another inning this year.
By the way,
we're out of the team pretty heavily.
He had his first strikeout on Sunday. He's obviously in a slump. How does he deal with that?
For the one strikeout, I was like, in a slump. The guy's on another planet right now.
I know, this is insane. That's obviously a joke, but yeah. I mean, it's like there's one. I mean, he hits the ball so hard. What is he doing in the Frontier League right now?
I mean, I've been in this league 5 years. I've never seen a hotter start. I mean, in his 2019, he got off to a really slow start, and then he hit like 380 for the last 2 months. Mm-hmm. And it feels like he's about to do that for a whole year. Mm-hmm. And it's so fun to watch right now. He goes up there and everyone gets to the top rail to watch. It's fun, and he has a ton of fun playing the game. If you're watching the live streams, he's always yelling and celebrating and having a blast.
Mm-hmm. In one of my stories on Instagram, I mentioned the fact that he hadn't been struck out before Sunday, obviously. So he went and he answered privately to the story, and he said, "Don't jinx it." So I was sick with myself. So, oh my God, what did I do? Because some people are superstitious, you know, but it's also my job to talk about it and just say that you're awesome, dude. Yeah. So I said to him, "Are you serious?" He said, "Of course not. And come on, man, I'm just messing with you."
And of course, after the game, he's like, "That Frontier League Journal guy freaking jinxed me." He's like, talking about I have no strikeouts, and I'm like, dude, it's baseball. You're gonna strike out.
Did he say that?
He did after the game in the clubhouse. He's like, that guy jinxed me. He's like, this is his fault. I'm like,
I'm gonna go and talk to him privately after.
For sure.
We mentioned injuries. You've got Arjuna, who was mostly a relief pitcher, I think, with Philadelphia before. Now he's a starter for you. How do you deal with that kind of different role? Because he's got to just adjust mentally too.
For sure. And that was kind of some stuff we talked about in camp, and just because you have to adjust your routine. Usually like out of the bullpen, it's like, hey, you have less than 10 minutes to be ready to throw. Mm-hmm. And now it's as a starter, you know, in a way you have 6 days.
You know.
And you know, you go out, you throw, you have like 30, most guys start like 30 minutes before first pitch. And I think the first game of the year, because he started opening night for us, he was done with his whole process in like 14 minutes. And it's like, uh-oh. we've got some time to kill here, and you don't want to just throw extra pitches because you're loose early. And it was cold, and it was like, man, you can't just go sit in the dugout and stay hot because I think it was 50 degrees if that night. But it's been a good adjustment. He's learning his process, because I was very routine oriented as a starter and had some things to offer, as far as that goes. But it's a definite adjustment because I've moved back and forth twice in my career, and it's different. You're used to having all that time, and then it's like, hey, be ready for the guy in the hole, and you're just sitting there talking to your buddies, and then you got to flip your switch mentally, and then you got to get your arm ready to roll, and then go get guys out. It's a completely different mindset. But I think he's handling it well. Came out good in his second start and had a really good bounce back, and he's going for us tonight against Joliet again.
Yeah. Stephen Chambly, will he be starting again, or was it only a spot start and that's it?
That was a spot start. Just needed a guy in the doubleheader to get us through the first few. So he'll be back in the pen as our quote unquote long guy.
Jimmy Bennett.
He'll get a couple days off. What'd you say?
No, I cut you off like a moron again. Jimmy Bennett and you have the advantage of having a great bullpen right now. You've got great arms in high leverage situation. Do you think that can last? I mean, they're dominating right now.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
These are guys that have done it for multiple years, that have made it through seasons, throwing really, really well. A guy that we have on the DL right now, Dylan Stutzman.
Yeah.
He's working through some arm stuff right now. He should be back in the next couple of weeks or so, and that'll be a huge added piece, kind of like making a free agent sign early in the season. But it's tricky, and Jamie does a great job managing the bullpen and getting these guys in positions to succeed. So I really, really am optimistic about them continuing their success in the back end of that pen.
Nice. My last question was about exactly the Dylan Stutzman and what's happening with him. I mean, if he's coming back, this is just another weapon for you. You're having a great start to the season. It's 5-6. It could have been very different. And I'll ask you another question, and then I'm gonna let you go. Having Gian Martellini and Nick Otto behind the plate. I don't know those guys, so I'll just rely on you to tell me how good they are at dealing with the pitching staff right now.
They do a great job for us. Nick's been in Schaumburg. I think this will be his fourth or fifth full year.
Yeah,
he handles the staff better than any catcher I've been around. He's a great guy. Guys like him. Guys like throwing to him, and works incredibly hard for his pitchers. Him and I go over the scouting report, game report, and everything like that before every game. We go out there before the starting pitcher starts playing catch, get our early work in, and we're ready to roll. And, we're usually on the same page with pitch calling. Sometimes he'll look in, I'll call a couple here and there, but 98% of everything out there is Nick.
Wow.
And then we have Gian, who we added in 19 from Boston College, and he does a great job for us too. He goes out there, he gets his early work in. He works with Nick on, the scouting report. He knows these hitters inside and out. He knows the pitchers inside and out. And we're really lucky to have two guys that can handle the staff, and that guys like throwing to. That's, half the battle. You have a catcher that all the guys hate. It's going to be a long year for you.
I can just imagine just on Sunday playing against one of the best teams in the league. Evansville Otters doubleheader. This is going to be a long day, and you've got Nick Otto just walking it off at the end of the game. It's like you deserve it so much, especially after what you just told me. So
yeah, and Nick actually wasn't even supposed to catch game one of the doubleheader. So Gian called us. He had food poisoning, and so that's why Otto had to catch both of those games, because Gian wasn't there. We actually had a high school kid in the bullpen warming guys up. It was, all hands on deck. I called a kid from our 18U team here locally. I was like, I need you. I was like, I'll get you some food. We'll throw a uniform on you. You're catching pins all day.
Wow.
So, yeah, Nick had to really wear it on Sunday, catching 14 innings. And, he got that walk-off for us in the first one, which is huge, huge win. Needed it. But, yeah, both of those guys work really hard for us.
Nice. Connor, that was great stuff, man. Thank you so much for taking the time. And next time we talk, I promise that I'll remember which team you work for, okay?
Schaumburg Boomers. Schaumburg Boomers.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Have a great...
Me and Jamie holding it down.
Have a great day, man.
You too, man. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.